Hello everyone, just Goran here and welcome back to another Zoo Tour Snippets video. Today we are in the Zoo of Amsterdam, Artis, and it is a very special day. This weekend it is Monument Day for 2 days, which doesn't make sense to me, but it's really cool because we are visiting a monument of significant size over here. This is the Aquarium of Artis. This building has been closed for the better part of 3 years. When I first visited this zoo, it was already closed, so I actually never seen the inside of this building. I've only seen the outside and the little snippets of it that you can see right over here. These are the snippets of it that you can see from the zoo, from the Japanese garden, the penguin enclosure over here. It's right behind there. It looked amazing, it always has, and today I had the opportunity to visit it because as part of the Monument Day, they organized these little guided tours into this beautiful building. So over here we are right up against it and making our way over. So yeah, let's strap in, let's admire the views, and most importantly, let's put on our hard hats. Safety first. So the first area that we visited over here was kind of the basement of the building, and this room over here contains the filtration system of the aquarium, and it is a very special one because this is a super old aquarium. The building was originally built in 1881, which is just absolutely insane. It's over 140 years old. So how did they filter the water back then? Well, this room over here contains a huge basin of water that we can see in between all of those catacomb-like structures, and all of that water is the original filtration system. This water is naturally filtered throughout and then fed back into the aquarium as above. So this room is being upgraded. We can see more modern filters are being added here, especially for the saltwater aquariums that are in this building. I'm not sure how much of this is very new or somewhat new, but yeah, it is being upgraded, and that was the first we got to see. So now we are actually entering the aquarium building proper. So first this kind of half half circle building. Above here is kind of a college room which had a lot of asbestos in it, so it probably won't be opened, but the room we're walking through right now will probably be some kind of exposition space. There's going to be any animals in there, but some educational things related to the sea, water, wildlife, and things like that. So really, really cool. Now we are moving into the next room over here. This is the small hall, and this is where already my jaw was starting to droop a little bit. I was just so in awe at this space, and it's still empty. There's not a lot to see, but it's just such a imposing room to be in, and we already get some peeks into the main aquarium hall over here. But we have some photos over here what this area has looked like through the years. So for the renovation, what it was before the renovation started, and way back in the day, this room held a lot of smaller aquariums over there, as you can see. Anyway, let's not wait any longer and make our way into the main aquarium hall. So yeah, that's what we're in right now, and it looks absolutely gorgeous already. This room reminded me a lot of the Zoo of Antwerp, which I had been to. When I talked to the architect, I kind of felt like he took offense to that, like, this is way better than Antwerp, what are you talking about? But I was mainly just talking about the setup, like this gallery of aquariums on both sides. Yeah, that's, I guess, something very common for the time. So yeah, here we can see a bunch of photos of this space over the course of the renovation. Lots of things had to be taken out, and the main reason for this renovation, by the way, is what we can see over here. All of these white stripes along the concrete, and that is all damage from these saltwater aquariums that have slowly been leaking over the edges of the walls and saltwater seeping into the walls of the structure, and that is what caused so much damage that this space had to be completely renovated, which is what they are doing now. It's an enormous undertaking. They're talking about a budget of 48 million euros, which, wow. And yeah, here you can see some of the technical drawings for the room that we're in, all the spacing and kind of how the windows are built up. And what's really cool, they explained as well, is these wooden boards above the aquariums. Those are actually window panels that in the past they would open up, because when this building was first constructed, electricity wasn't even a thing yet. So they were able to open up these boards above the tanks to let natural sunlight into the space to actually allow people to see. Really, really cool. So these pillars over here, the one that we just saw, had this like marble decoration on it. Over here there's a window inside that lets you see into the aquarium. These aquariums probably used to be all separate aquariums, but they have broken up many of the walls in between them, allowing the aquariums to be much, much bigger. And what's also a great improvement over the old aquarium, I was told, as I've said, I don't know the old aquarium, but over here we are viewing basically what's going to be the staff space and the aquariums from above. And where you can see this boardwalk going over top of the aquariums, that's going to be the staff area. But in the past, this actually used to be a hallway behind the aquariums, but now it's going to go over top of the aquariums, allowing the aquariums to get a lot more space in the back. So the aquariums are actually getting a lot bigger in many different ways, making it, of course, a lot better for the animals. So over here we're in the room that kind of leads into the aquarium section, and it looks absolutely stunning like everything else. It's definitely a very old style, but it's so cool that that is being brought back and restored in its full glory. And here we've got some beautiful windows, and yeah, just more of that marble stuff over there. I don't know what, I have not the architectural vocabulary to describe all of this stuff. So over here is a really interesting room. It's kind of a mix between the old and the new. This aquarium on the left was a very new addition, and they are keeping that to kind of, yeah, keep that as part of the history of this building. Also interesting, on the opposite side of that aquarium, there also used to be some aquarium tanks. They've removed those to allow the windows to be visible again, and kind of restored that part of the space. So there's a lot of choices being made over the course of this renovation, like what do we restore, what do we keep. It's a monumental building, but the changes made to the buildings are part of the building's history. So it's interesting how, yeah, it's a challenge for the architect basically to decide what do we keep, what do we restore, stuff like that. I thought it was really, yeah, I've never really thought about that way, so that was really cool. Anyway, we're heading on out through the main, well, I want to say the main entrance, but this actually is not the main entrance. This is just a very main looking entrance, but it wasn't actually the entrance of the building, which we'll see in a second. But it does look really, really cool with these pillars, and again, I don't have the vocabulary to describe this. I need someone who is actually an architect or has knowledge of old buildings. I need Silverette or something, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, look at this facade. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then over here on the left, that is where we actually see the entrance to the aquarium from very long ago. There was a members entrance for members of the zoo and like a general public entrance. And this over here, this facade is, yeah, we saw it earlier as well. This is where you will be entering it from the zoo itself. So this is probably what's going to be the guest entrance moving forward once the renovation is complete as well. The renovation, by the way, is still going to take another 1.5-ish. They are almost done, as you can see, with restoring the building, but then, yeah, they still need to make the enclosures, education, so much stuff still needs to happen. So yeah, it will definitely still take a lot of time. Anyway, over here we can also see the backstage of the penguins. What I thought was really interesting is how the rockwork is still quite detailed, even over here on the side where the visitors will never see it. And you could see there was some space for the penguins to like get behind the rockwork and away from visitors, which I thought was cool. And yeah, here is a nice render of the aquarium as it's being renovated, and you can see all those little details. You can see the Lloyd water filtration system below, the very big basin down there, and above it the big hallway with all the tanks. So that was the aquarium. That was super cool in and of itself. And there was something else though that I thought I'd quickly throw into this video, because in the lion video that I made like a while ago already, we saw the new lion enclosure of the zoo. And currently, and for the remainder of the year, this will basically run until like somewhere in December, you are able to enter the old lion exhibit over here. So they made this little bridge that allows you to cross into the exhibit, and it is so interesting. Like, you can see where the lions lived, you can see where the lions played tic-tac-toe on the ceiling over there. It is so cool. No, but in all seriousness, this was such a unique experience. Just standing in this enclosure gives you such a different perspective on it. Like, it always looked small, even from the visitor side, but standing inside here, it just seems so much smaller than it always had. And you can really tell just how little the lions could actually see from here. Like, there's walls on 3 sides, and then you've got some visitors, and then a bunch of plants. And that's all they could ever see. So it's actually so much worse than I ever considered. And that's really eye-opening, like just how bad this enclosure actually was. So very, very happy that the lions in the zoo has a new enclosure now, from which they have many more vantage points. They can see across the canals, they can see roads, they can see houses, they can see people all over the place, which is just so much more enriching for them, just not being stuck in this enclosed space as much. Anyway, that was it. That was all I wanted to show in this little video. Enjoy some gibbon sounds, and I will see you in the next video. See you, bye bye!